Okay. Good afternoon, guys, and welcome back to Heart of the Matter podcast. I am your host, Sherry J, and I'm so excited to be back again with you guys. I'm so silly, so I forgot to put my little glitter logo thing on. So y'all see my face, but that's neither here or there. But I'm here again for another episode, another exciting and informative and just awesome episode that's going to help us, right, to learn some good things today. So, this is episode 13. And as you know, this podcast is set up to talk about social epidemics as far as like fatherlessness, broken homes, the society, decline of morality. So, that's what we're here to do. We're trying to help the community by creating a dialogue so that we can understand what's going on. And when you understand things better, you can do better. So I have a very good guest here with me today. And oh my God, Daniel, really, I'm on live, baby. Okay, so I have a very good guest with me here today. Sorry, y'all, that was my son. So his name is Anthony Parker, and I'm going to be bringing him on to discuss some things with us. As you guys know, our topic, we're talking about overcoming fatherlessness, and also um, really how this came up before I jump into is that I saw one of my bros on Facebook, Tony. He made a post about fathers, and well, it was actually from a movie clip, but I saw it on Facebook, and it said everybody wants you to be this strong black man, but how can you be what you didn't see? And so he posted that, and I'm like, wow, that's really deep. I always thought about fatherlessness, the reason why, behind the scenes, but I never thought about what men go through as they transition from boys to men and they didn't have a father in their lives. Like, I never thought about how much hurt and pain or whatever they could, they're probably going through and suffering in silence because they didn't have that. They don't know how to move and act, be the man that we expect as society expect them to be, but they somehow have to be this and they never learned it or they were never taught to be this man. And so I thought it was very interesting. And so he sent me the clip from where this quote came. It was from The Shy. If you guys watch that movie, I'm going to just go ahead and play the clip for you guys so you can see. And I think the guy's talking to his father on this clip, and he's just, I guess his dad wasn't a really good dad. Again, I only saw the clip. I don't watch the movie, but I just want you guys to see where we're getting this topic from. Here it is.
You think that's the only way to be a man? Pop, you put down a lot of your responsibilities when I was coming up because you couldn't handle it. Yeah, that's true. And now we're making up for lost time. Just cool. I never got a chance to see you juggle my mom and juggle your career. Honestly, I think that's why my ass struggling right now. Well, you can't be blaming me for your bullshit. That's not what I'm doing. I'm saying everybody expects me to be this strong black man. How can I be what I didn't see? I'm just figuring this shit out on my own, and I'm going to stumble sometimes.
Okay. So that was pretty much the clip. So if you heard him saying he was saying the same thing that Tony quoted, everybody wants him to be a strong black man, but he never saw it. He wasn't taught it. So maybe his father just came back into his life, or he wasn't there. I don't know. I didn't watch the show, but that's what we're going to be discussing today. About so many young boys who become men have no father. How do we expect them to be a strong black man? So we're going to discuss that today. Again, my host or co-host today is Anthony Parker. He is a social media well, not podcaster, but he's a motivational speaker. He's a man of God, so he believes in God and Christ, Christ lover. He's he also has experienced fatherlessness, and so he's going to get on with us today just to kind of give us some insight, and we're going to have this discussion together. All right, I'm going to bring him on now. All right, hey, what's up?
What's going on?
Not much. So you're on, we're live. Can you I guess introduce yourself and just give us a little bit of background?
Well, my name is Anthony Parker. Um, Background, same as you were saying. I didn't have a father. Actually, my father disowned me when I was probably 3 or 4. So yeah, get
Sad.
into that.
Yeah. And I mean, right now, I know you're still successful right now. You turned out pretty good, but I know there
Yeah.
was like some struggles and, heartaches and different things you had to struggle with. Can you tell us like what what they were, what you dealt with like when you hit manhood, and didn't have a father?
Well, that is true. That movie clip. What? How can you be something that you don't see? And that's very true. Because when I was growing up, I didn't have none of that. So my mother got married when I was 8, and to my stepfather, and she got divorced when I was 14. So for 6 years, I had a kind of a role model, but after that divorce, um, he stopped talking to all of us too. So that kind of led me. It kind of led me into watching, because kids these days they watch everything on TV, it's social media. They getting grown by social media. So that's what I was watching, and that's why I have tattoos. That's why I have goals. That's why I have certain things. That's why I was getting in trouble. That's why I was clubbing. That's why I was doing certain things, because it was nothing I was seeing, and everybody that was around me didn't have fathers either. So it was like it's kind of hard to figure out how to be a man if you don't know. But
Yeah.
when we further go along with the story, I'll tell you what changed.
Okay, when you want to get okay, the solution later, right? Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, okay, so do you think that you not having a father, right? Because we see so many relationships, it's like a battle between men and women nowadays. It's like men versus women. Oh, you're not doing this. I'm not doing this because of that. And I think like I did one time, I think because we don't have our roles down, we don't understand what a man does, what a woman does. And because the roles are so reversed and messed up, everybody's just blaming each other. So do you think that this not having a father affected your relationship with women, even your, like ex-wife or, whoever, your wife or your whoever significant other? Do you think that affected your relationship?
Um, yes and no, because since I didn't have no father, I was raised by my 3 aunties and my mother. So I was raised around 4 women. So they always taught me how to treat a woman. They always taught me what to do as a man, how to take care of a woman. So I was kind of raised up and knowing how to treat a woman. So
Okay.
I didn't have like a different perception of how to take care of a woman, because I was always taught, my aunties instilled instilled in me a lot of morals that a man supposed to have taking care of a woman. So yes and no. Then no is further more education on how to be a man. If I would have had a man, then I would know more of how to react to certain things. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
it's a yes and no. Like,
Right.
woman can only teach so far. A
Right.
man can instill a lot in a boy.
Right.
So a woman can only give her perspective from her side. So it's not. It's yes and no.
That makes sense. We can only, yeah, from what we see as women, we can only teach a boy how we see it. But
Yeah,
how
it's limit. Yeah, it's limited. You only can go so far. I mean, my mama did the best she could. I mean,
Right.
I was the only child,
Mhm.
so I was the only child for 18 years. So 18 years she had one boy. So I knew that was kind of hard for her. But like I said, my aunties raised me as well. Like when my mama couldn't take care of me, or when she was at work or something, my aunties always had me. So I always had that protective of a woman and take care of them and know how to treat them and stuff like that. So
So did you have any male figures around, like any uncles, any I know you didn't have brothers, but you didn't have any male kind of role models or anything in your life, right?
I had any males. I mean, I had an uncle that's married to my auntie, but I was never I was never really around him, so I had nobody. All I had was if I wanted to see a male, I had to turn on the TV.
Right. Right.
I had literally no male, none,
That's
until I got into the streets and hanging around with the wrong people and stuff
right.
like that. So that's the only males I seen.
Yeah, and see, and I want to address, the viewers. Hey, you guys, if you are on, if you want to drop your name, and just say hello to me. Hey, Merely, I see you're on, and I want to ask you guys. Just he made a valid point. He didn't have any male figures around, so the only thing he saw was, like you said, the TV or people in the street. And we see that happening so much. Like, young boys are turning to the street because they don't have a father, and we wonder why they're on the corner. We wonder why they're selling drugs, and they're getting into all these kinds of things because the dad wasn't there. Their father was not in their lives. So what do you guys think about this topic? Hey, Tony, I see you're on as well. What do you guys, especially men, I want your input, because a lot of times I know men, you guys won't say anything. You'll just suffer and won't even speak about it because you don't want to be called soft. And I know somebody else mentioned that you don't want to be looked at as you're less than. But I mean, you guys have to start talking and saying what's, on your
Yeah,
mind.
it's a man thing. It's like sometimes we don't want to be, we don't want to seem weak,
It's the
but
bro code.
you can't really know what you don't know though. So it's like we don't know really how to act if we don't have no guidance. So sometimes we can be quiet because we don't know how to deal with it. We don't have no direction. So
Oh, wow. That makes
that's
sense.
another thing. Like we don't like emotions. It's hard to deal with emotions if you never learned that from another man. So we don't
Wow.
even know how to react. Like if I wasn't instilled from my aunties and my mother about how to treat a woman, I can
Right.
imagine how I would be treating a woman because I don't know how to deal with emotions. So I'm
Wow.
saying, so I can understand and don't understand, but I can understand why some men don't know how to treat a lady because they wasn't taught that. They had no male that
Wow.
they mother didn't teach them, or their aunties or whoever they was around didn't teach them. So
Right. So some things.
that's another issue.
Yeah, it is. And we're gonna address that. We're gonna definitely talk about how the moms, a lot of moms are not around. I seen somebody post that, like, you guys talk about the deadbeat dads, but you don't talk about the deadbeat moms. And that's another issue. If you don't have a mom or dad, it's crazy. How
Yeah, you
can
don't
you?
have a mom or dad. That just
Yeah. Or, it's just you need both, but to, now as a mother, you have an innate, it's just an action you're gonna take care of your kids. It's just
right,
normal. But I'm gonna read the comments. Tony said, I agree, my mom did her best, but I was a product of my environment. Okay, so we
right.
got that again. Merely said, men don't vent to women, we just go through it. Oh, wow. Okay. And that's what he said. I mean, I think, man, if you trust your woman, you should vent to her. You would. You should, because you shouldn't want to keep that burden on you. Just I think you should say something. But I know sometimes men think we're gonna just like lash out at them, and sometimes we are. But I
Yeah,
mean,
you gotta be careful. Like with us men, you gotta be careful with because we don't express our emotions to anybody but our mother. So it's like
hmm,
to find another
what?
woman to find another
Mhm.
woman that can make us do that. That gotta be a special woman. So
Oh, wow. So your
it
wife,
took
if you were
it,
married, that wouldn't be a special woman?
yeah, I was
Okay.
married. I was married 9 years, but we got a divorce, but we still best friends right now. But it took me like 2 or 3 years to even open up. You know what I'm
Wow.
saying? So but when I did open up, I opened up. She knew everything.
Right.
And she knew everything more than my mother knew. So
Right.
it takes a while for us to open up, and especially if you don't have no father. You don't know how to you don't know.
You don't know. Yeah. See, that's why I'm like, now I'm understanding all this, why we got so much stuff going on. Like, people don't understand is you just think, oh, you're supposed to be a man. You need to be doing this. And it's like, they don't know. No one took the time to teach them and tell them this is how you're supposed to do as a man. This is what you're supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? So they
Right.
don't know.
They don't know.
That's crazy. So I'm kind of understanding this more. Tony, you said therapy did a lot for you. That I'm sure that therapy's good. And Merely said women aren't typically an emotionally safe place to vent. they tend to use things against you when they're angry. Hmm.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's true. But I mean, y'all probably do the same thing. So but no, I mean, either way, like you gotta open up more to your lady than you do your mom, just because your mom ain't gonna always be there, but your woman will. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So that's something men gotta be taught too. Is like, listen, I gotta my mom, especially mama's boys and things like that. And nothing wrong with it. Because they know how to they do treat women not very good, but sometimes they don't know the difference in how to separate, okay, this should just be for my wife, and okay, mom, you got to kind of take a little step back. I love you, and I know it's
And that's
probably
true.
hard.
That's true because I was a mama's boy. That's all I had. So
Yeah,
it took me a while to put my wife. It took me a while to learn to put my wife before my mother because I always had my mother. I always took care of my mother. I always took my mother trips. I always did everything just for her. So to put her on the back burner and then put my wife ahead, that was a struggle by itself. But as I grew and as I knew and as I learned more and God and learned more of how to treat a woman biblically in the Bible, I kind of switched, and it was easy. It was easy for me to put my wife first. It was easy for me to do things, for my wife and keep her first.
right. That's so true. That's going to be a part of our solution, but we haven't got to that point yet. But I do want to read some more comments here. Tony, you said it also shows me that sometimes growing up without a father, the mom could be viewing you like a man versus her son. Oh yeah, that's deep, and we were supposed to talk about that. You got something to say about that, Anthony?
Um, that's true though. That's true.
He said that's
Right.
why men will tell their mom things and not their girl or their wife.
Right. He's right. Yep, he's right. So sometimes she can look at us as a man and not a son. So that's very very true.
And that's not good because and we haven't talked about it yet, but we were gonna do a segment called like mom and their little kings, which would be like their sons, and how a lot of times you treat your sons, because if anybody got daughters on here, or like I got one daughter and three sons, but my sons is like my heart, right? It's like a father daughter relationship, and only you'll understand that when you have a daughter, you like, okay, I know what you mean. And so because of that, sometimes you can just treat them so much like, I don't know, like a little king or prince. But
Right.
a lot of men sometimes don't even get the good treatment that you're giving them. It's like you treat the kids better than you treat your man, and he's supposed to be your king, but it's like, no, my son is my king. And so that's something we're gonna be talking about. We're trying to put it in there somewhere. But yeah, it's definitely something we gotta deal with in relationships, as far as, and that's probably why, that because you didn't have the father, now you have kind of sort of this, I'm not gonna say really unhealthy. It's just an unbalanced relationship, with your mom, or the mom has with their son, because she may not have a man either. So she looks to you to do everything that her man would do.
Right. Right. Yep.
Yeah. So y'all, we gotta, this is deep. This is some good information. Like, so hopefully y'all sharing and, letting, so somebody can see this. If you guys want to follow Anthony Parker, he's right on Facebook. He does a lot of motivational speaking and reels and things that are really, really good. Um, Also, I see, merely you said a lot of mothers view their sons as their man who can never leave them. I know. He's so funny. I know. And I know, and they hold on to him like, look, y'all, I was watching Love and Hip Hop. No, no, look, don't judge me now. I'll be watching that sometimes. But I'm not really ratchet like that. But Mama D, y'all know Mama D from Love and Hip Hop,
Mm-hmm.
and how her and Scrappy is, how they were
Yep.
so close. And she
Yep.
kind of the reason why, some of the reason for their divorce. And she would, just be against Bambi so much because Bambi just didn't, mesh well with her. But he, when he expressed how he felt about her and was crying, and he was like, I had to be around drug dealers, you shooting up, and oh my God, I almost cried because I could tell how hurt he was when he said that. And he loved his mama, but it was like, he was like, you know what I'm saying? It's just crazy how it's just crazy, y'all. But yeah, we gotta do better as looking at our sons as our men, because they're not. They're gonna go on and have wives, and we got to teach them that in this Black community. Like, listen, son, you're not gonna be with me forever or your
Right.
dad. You have
Right.
to grow up and get you a wife so you can start your own family. So don't look at me as, I'm that. No, and I'm not gonna look at you as you my my husband, you know what I'm saying, or my king, because you're not, in the plate in the household is gonna be fixed for your husband first, right? We're not gonna fix our son's plate first.
Right. Mm-hmm.
It seems so minor, but it's really appropriate. Your son is not providing for you. Your husband is, or your man. Merely said a lot of no, he said Marlon Wayne's mother is why he says he'll never get married. I saw that. Did you see that, Anthony?
I ain't see that.
He did say, I remember he said he came on and said he would never have a wife because I guess his mom needs him. And because he didn't want them to compete against each other, he won't have a wife.
Oh wow.
That's
Yeah.
crazy, right?
I don't even. I can't do that.
Yeah, right. And see, that's the thing with mothers. You have to understand you have to let them go.
You gotta let him go.
You gotta let them go. It's hard. I know it's boy moms, it's so hard because they're like, if that man walked away, they kind of repair your heart emotionally. I'm serious. Maybe it shouldn't be that way, but they do. It's like so much love. Like Krishan just had a baby, and everybody's like, he's gonna love her properly. He's to a point. I agree. He will give her some of the love that she needs because it's just a bond. But we have to understand we got to let these boys go or they won't be any good. That's why they sleeping in mama's basements now. Because we didn't let them go to be a man. We always wanted them to depend on us or, oh, I need you, competing with their wives. And now they don't even have a consistent family, not remembering that we have to leave one day.
Yep.
We won't be here. And so then they're going to be by themselves because we ran their wife or their spouse away, It's crazy.
Yep.
Okay, so Rita said, or in mama's bed at a certain age. Hold on, did she try to come for me? Because my son is 5 in my bed and he's still in our bed, okay? And don't come for me, Rita, the godmama of my son. But no,
still in your bed?
My son, yeah. But now he has his own bed, but it's his father's fault. It's my husband's fault. It's not my fault. It's like, no, it's not my fault too. But I'm trying to get him out, but he won't leave.
I think I was still asleep with my mom too.
See, Rita, y'all trying to kick these babies out too early.
Yeah, I think I was too.
Manny, so Ashley said Manny will be 7. He's not 7. Godly. Now that's he almost 10 in your bed. I don't know. My baby ain't there yet. He might still be
10. That's a stretch.
Yeah, 10. You better get out your mama bed at 10 years old.
Stretch.
You about bigger than me in my whole bed. Two grown men and a woman in the bed at that time.
Better go in your room.
Right. Oh God, what is they doing outside? So Rita told me let the babies be great. No. AJ slept with you till about 10. Oh my goodness. Okay, I don't know if somebody doing donuts outside. Y'all hear them?
Oh, y'all hear it.
They out here doing donuts. What? Get off my corner. What's wrong with y'all? So merely you said y'all better get them grown men out y'all bed. Okay. Okay. Manny is 7. My baby's only 5. Okay. He has a little excuse. No, but
I think 5 is the max. 5 is the limit. 5 to 6 is the limit.
Yeah.
10, that's a stretch, bro.
Stretch. Okay, ladies, y'all heard that? We got to cut the cord. It's hard. I know we love them. Ooh, we love them so much. We got to cut the cord. Did you say 3 and done? I ain't kicking my baby out. He's still my baby at that point. But no, so for all you guys who got just joined, if you guys missed any of the information we're sharing, we're just talking about boys who don't have a father and they are actually growing up to be men, and because they weren't taught to be a man, this is the reason why a lot of relationships are failing, or you're just having issues with your man. He won't talk to you. You don't know what's wrong with him, and it's because he has no outlet really, because he had nobody to tell him, like, listen, this is gonna happen. Your woman might get mad at you, but don't do this.
Right.
But like Anthony said, he did have aunts that kind of instilled that into you. And so those were some good aunts, because, you have to inform men, like, listen, this is how women are. So be prepared, But if you have nobody, and especially boys, what, Anthony, would you say would be, I guess since now that you've overcame, what would you say you need to overcome? What options, or what outlets would you need to overcome?
You said if I had boys, what you say
Well,
now?
if okay, what would you say to young men, young boys coming up, or young, women who have sons, they don't have their father around or so, and what would you say? What advice would you give them to overcome? Feeling like, you listen, I don't know what to do. What resources should they seek out if they don't have anyone?
Well, first of all, teach them the best way they can, and second of all, you gotta talk to God.
Okay, okay.
You gotta talk to God. Like the only way. See, I was a chaos till like 1920. So, mind you, all my family is in church. So all my aunties was in church. So all my entire family is God led. All my family's in church. So I was the only one that was acting stupid. So as I was being curious about church and God when I was 17, about 16, 17, I was going to church. And I was always want to leave because everybody know it take too long. I'm ready to go, bro. It take too long. So as I kept learning and kept going and talking to my pastor and who I know now for 16 years, that's my counselor, and I love her to death. If it wasn't for her, I'd probably be in jail or prison, or I'd probably be dead. So you got to seek God. You got to. It's hard because some mothers, some people don't even go to church. Some people don't even believe in God. So it's kind of like that's the only resource that helped me. That's the
Right.
only resource that helped me know how to be a man. Reading the Bible and knowing God is the only way I knew how to be a man, how to treat a woman, how to be a man in this world, this dying world. I didn't. That's the only source I know. I don't know no other source but God. And going to church, find you a pastor, find you an evangelist or somebody to talk to, or that was my counsel. My counsel was just church. I
Wow.
didn't. I didn't have no regular like go to counseling or something like that. My counselor was my pastor, and she been counseling me 15, 16 years now. So
Wow.
if it wasn't for her, if it wasn't for God, I'd probably be dead, prison. The route I was going,
Yeah.
I'd have been gone.
So that's interesting that you said. So your pastor's a woman,
Yeah,
and that's an interesting point because she's not a man. However, you still have learned ways to become a good man from a woman, and that's only
yep.
because she's teaching you the principles of the word.
And of course, I had deacons in church
Right. Okay.
that I knew, and elders and stuff like that. So I
Right.
was around them in church, and just watching them and learning the Bible and learning Jesus
Right.
and how he walked, and just learning how to be a man. That's the Bible is the map of
It's a
everything.
map. It is. People don't
Everything
believe it.
everything that you want to know about this world, what you should do, or what your purpose of how to be a woman, how to treat your
Mhm.
husband, how to treat your wife, how to raise your kids up, is in the Bible.
It is.
So that's a life map. That's a life book. So it teaches it teaches everything. So that's the only way I learned.
Oh my
That,
God.
that's the only way.
That's so good. I mean, it is. It's a life map, and we need more people need to look into it because I posted the other day. I was reading it. It was talking about money and how to use it and how to invest. I'm like, look at this. Now
Yeah,
I've
the
read it
Bible.
before,
Yeah, yeah, the Bible
but
got all that in there too.
you know what I'm
But
saying? It's like if we just looked at that, we'd probably have our money straight, everything, but we don't read it, and
but
it gives you instructions.
people don't they don't they don't understand it. They don't study it. They don't
Right.
they don't go to other resources to look up the words, look up the definitions. They don't
Right.
they don't do none of that. They just oh, it's just a book, and
Right.
they throw it off somewhere. So it's like I don't know what to tell you. But you
Right.
got but you got to build that relationship with God.
Right.
That's the only option. That was the only option for me. Like
Yeah. Yeah. I
God was
agree.
the only option for me.
Look, that's now you guys know me. That's going to be my solution to this. I know I did a post before, and some people, and if you guys have any solutions, what solutions would you guys give? I mean, outside of these, the number one, solution for if you don't have a father, you didn't grow up with a father, right, and you want to overcome this feeling or inadequacy, the number one solution we have is Christ, is the word, is to get with a good pastor or someone who knows the word to tell you the word and introduce it to you, because the Bible says that he is a father to the fatherless, right? Meaning anybody who doesn't have a father, God is willing to be their father. He's willing to take that place for you. So you don't have to be alone and struggling and hurt, right? Because that's what God is for. And so it's good to do that. And I know a lot of churches sometimes, it's so much going on in the church, but get someone who believes, character is straight first. Okay. Hey Leo, you said amen. Okay, that's good. And then Tina, I'm gonna start showing y'all comments on here. So he said amen. And then Tina, you said forgiveness first. Oh yes. That's a good solution right there. We just skipped to the almighty solution, which is God. But forgiveness, oh my God, forgiveness to me is really big, because if you do not forgive, I think you probably will block out God.
Yeah,
Because
it takes a while to especially men don't have no fathers. It takes a while to cope with that. It takes a while to understand why you don't want to be in my life. It takes a while to understand I wasn't worth it. Like,
no,
why you
so
didn't want me. It takes a while. It takes a while, but it's it's learning. It's learning who Jesus is. He's our true father.
yeah,
He's the one that we go to for everything, not man, not this flesh. It's him who we look after, who we pray to, who we love, and it takes a while to learn that, and it takes a while to let go of and to change, like to tell people, hey, I don't do this no more. Hey, I don't club no more. Hey, I don't, when people drink, I don't drink no more. I don't smoke no more. It takes a while to transition to that. So it's a I don't know.
look, listen, y'all, we about to have church now. Don't get
Yeah,
him started. Because listen, I feel you. Like when
it's
you
not
said that,
something, it's not even something, it's like it's not even something that you can even explain. It's
right,
like
experience it.
you have to experience it.
Yeah.
Because I can say, yeah, go to church, find your
Right.
pastor,
Exactly.
read the Bible, and then they do it, and then
It's like
this
nothing
ain't
happened.
working. But
Right.
it's a daily thing. It's a every day. It's I want to change. I want to be a better person. It's it's a lot.
So forgiveness one, and then also, and when you said that, I almost cried when you said why my dad didn't want me, why didn't he want to be in my life? Those are some hard questions. Like,
And
and
that's the
it's
reason
making
why
me sad.
and that's the reason why I had a lot of anger. I had a lot of anger when I was younger.
Yeah.
I had a lot of anger all the way until I was like 21 years old. I
Right.
had a lot of anger built up because
Right.
I was you mad, you fatherless. You don't have nobody to go to your games. You don't have nobody to say, hey, I made it, or you don't have nobody to go to. So it's like you have to forgive that person, even
Yeah.
though they disown you. You have to forgive them.
Ooh, don't make me cry
So
on here, because this is
so
it's
so
so
if you don't forgive them, that's gonna be a hold over you for life. You're gonna
yes.
always live with that anger, and you're gonna take that anger out on your kids, or your wife, or your family, because you couldn't forgive the person that let you go or don't want you.
Wow.
So
This is
that's
too
that's
much.
a hard thing by itself, is forgiveness, because you just wondering why.
Right. Oh my goodness. Like, oh
And
my
it
God,
was
this is deep.
and it was a lot of nights, crying nights, sad and angry and pissed off and want to kill somebody and all kind of stuff, bro. So it's yeah, Jesus, all I can say.
He saved you. Amen. Oh my God, y'all, this got me kind of emotional because I'm just thinking like it's really sad, that this is what and it's not really the men because I think the boys are more so dealing with this than anything because boys have to become men. And
Right.
on their journey to becoming a man, this is what they're feeling. This is what they're thinking about. So now they're angry, they're bitter. And this is why they're on the streets just killing people and doing crazy stuff. And you wondering why they have so much built up inside of them. And now I can really just understand, like, oh my goodness, you
And
know,
especially the households that don't have God in their life. Like
it's even worse.
that's really the families and the boys that goes,
They go
into the streets. Because I was there. I was in the streets. I was doing stupid crap, but I had a family that was
praying.
praying and in church and
Yes.
inter, interceding for me and all. I had that background of God, and so it was like if you don't have that,
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah, people don't understand how important it is to have that relationship with God because He solves all issues, all problems.
that's why nobody can tell me anything about God, Jesus,
Amen.
anything. They can't tell me nothing because some people don't want to believe. That's on you, bro. You know what God done took me from? like go over there. Then you don't believe that. That's on you. They
Right.
they they they, they can say whatever they want to say. I'm always talk about God and what He done for me and all what He blessed me and
Okay.
He saved my life and changed my life around, and I'm always talk about God till the day I die. Because if it wasn't for Him, I know I'd be dead.
I know, right? Look, we can be talking about this for hours because when you're talking about your father, right? Your savior, somebody who, where he brung you. Listen, that's a whole testimony. We'll be on here for a whole 2, 3, longer than that hours.
I tell
But
you,
I want to get to the other comment here about a solution. So merely said to get your son a quality mentor, get a quality husband. So definitely I understand getting a quality mentor. Which I would think would be a pastor, would be, a deacon, like you said, or somebody who has
mhm.
got and has demonstrated good character and morals. That's who you want to get. A quality husband, of course, because your husband, your stepfathers are also, they step up. They're supposed to step up and help with the children as well, and help.
And a husband supposed to follow Christ.
Exactly. That
So
makes sense. So
your
he
husband,
followed
your husband supposed to follow Christ, and you follow your husband.
as he
So
followed Christ. Amen.
if he's not, if he don't believe in God and he don't care nothing about God and he don't pray or anything,
Whew.
where's he's leading you and your family?
Yes. Oh my goodness.
That's that's a whole conversation by itself right there.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's why you got to get a quality, meaning one that loves the Lord, that loves God, knows God too, because He's gonna know how to deal with
Yeah,
those
yeah.
sons
Cause
of yours.
what some females these days mess up is they want one that just got money
Oh
and
yeah.
they get quick money and a drug dealer or something like that. Then no, bro,
Yeah. I know,
no.
because, and I don't want to get off topic, but we are, the main thing that's drilled, is that he needs to be a provider. And a lot of times, if you're just working a 9 to 5, it's harder for you to provide for the whole household, right? And so the drug dealers have the money, right? They have
Right.
more of the resources, and it's not right, but that's usually what they go for. But then, of course, they can't really teach anything because they don't know anything but the streets.
That's it.
And most times they probably didn't have a father or they wouldn't be in the streets doing drugs still. And so it's just a cycle that needs to really be broken. Oh my goodness, y'all, this was good. If you y'all have any more comments or any suggestions that you want to drop down in the comments, feel free to do so. I think to close this out, I mean, this is really, really a great topic. And I thank you so much, Anthony, for being on with us. Like you definitely gave us a different perspective on how to look at, manhood and these young men growing up to be young boys growing up to be men. Maybe y'all should just start hugging them when you see them. Hug a boy, because
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know what he going through, because probably 60, 70, maybe more of that, more 80% of these young boys don't have a father. And if they're out in the street, most likely they don't have a father. If they're
Right.
out, you know what I'm saying, just doing robbing and doing all this, you know, they don't have a father. So I think this was an awesome topic, and I want I would, you know, hopefully more men won't stay silent. Hopefully more men will start to speak up and talk about how not having a father has affected them, and also how, you know what I'm saying, they have overcome this thing, because we only overcome through our testimony. So by giving my testimony, your testimony, you know, and especially men coming together, giving their testimonies, it's going
Right.
to help somebody else. But if we don't do that, and the men are just so, you know, they're silent, they don't want to say anything because they're hurt. They don't know if this is right. But you have to start somewhere, because we're losing our young men. We're using our boys even before they make it to manhood. 12 and 13-year-olds are being killed. They're going to jail. And
Listen, you know the day I turned 30
Mhm.
4 years ago, you know I cried because I made it to 30.
It is.
Because there was so many people I knew that died in their 20s, so many dudes I knew that died in their 20s. Some family members I knew died and just in the streets for something stupid. Man, you know, I cried out and went to church and prayed to God and told God, thank you for letting me hit 30.
Oh, wow.
Just 30. Like we shouldn't be happy about 30.
I
Because
know.
30 is still kind of young, but
Still young.
you should be happy you make it to 60. But for me to say I'm happy because I was 30,
Wow.
that shows you where we at in this world right now.
Yes, it does. Yeah. So guys, this was such a deep, heartfelt live. I'm so grateful that you guys joined Heart on the Matter podcast, and I'm thankful for my co-host. Anybody that comes on with me is a co-host. I don't call you guys guests, because you're in this thing with me. This is a community thing. So I want you guys to share this, you know, live, or, you know, like, love, comment, so that way the word can be sent out and more people will join. But that's all we have today. Again, I thank you so much, Anthony, for coming on. You are such a blessing, and you know, you gave us some great information. So hopefully, everybody takes it and, you know, grows with it and uses it, and grow from there. So that's
Yeah.
all we have for you guys. And
Yeah,
again,
thank you. Yeah, thank you for having me because I can only give advice from what I went through.
exactly.
It could be I don't know no other correct way other than God.
And that's all we want you to give it to us. Give it
You
to
know what
us
I'm
right,
saying?
the raw way. I mean, listen, that's what we're here for. And I definitely may want to have you on more, you know, more often with different topics, with different men and things, because I can't usually speak to, you know, I can try from my point of view, but I'm not a man to speak on some things, because I,
Right.
I just, you know, just don't know. But um thank you. Merely said, well done, good pods tonight. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it. So again, if you want to discuss something with me, reach out and you can be on this live with us as well. We may be seeing more at Anthony. We'll let you know. But all right, guys, you guys stay blessed and you have a great night. And don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube, Heart of the Matter podcast, as well as audio on Apple, Google, Spotify, all those good platforms. Okay. Have a great night, guys. Bye bye.